Yep, we're good. He's ready.
All ready? All right, we're going to open the meeting of the Street Salle Traffic Committee, April 28, 2025. Roll call.
Alderman Patak.
Here.
Alderman Reynolds.
Here.
Alderman Laverie.
Present.
Alderman Jepson.
Present.
Alderman Herndon.
Here.
Alderman Crane.
Here.
Chairman Bassador.
Here. Number one, approval of the minutes, Street Salle Traffic Committee held March 31st, 2025.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Number two, discussion and potential recommendation regarding addressing parking concerns in the 800 block of Charter Street and the nearby alley between 8th and 9 Charters and Court.
So you all have the note that we received over email in your packets here, and since Sarah is here in the room, she'd like to come up to the front just to talk to the committee about what you've experienced.
So by alley, we're talking.
Hi, I'm Sarah Nelson. We live at 836 Charter Street in LaSalle.
There you go.
Sorry. We live at 836 Charter Street in LaSalle. We're from Nebraska. We just bought our house 2.5 years ago. And since we've moved there, we have gotten at least 3 parking tickets for parking behind our garage in the alley because we can't park on the street in front of our house. Most of it's been during the day, during school hours, because we have a high school student who does have a car and we only have a 2-car garage. And my husband and I have to use the garage to get in and out our cars to go to and from work. And so when she's at school and we're at work, we come home to a parking ticket on her car for parking behind our house while she's at school. We love living in LaSalle. We love our house. We love our neighborhood. Our daughters thrived here, but getting a parking ticket for parking out back of our house when we have done nothing but take care of that area since we moved in is a little frustrating for somebody that just moved here. And so we are looking for any option that we have for us to park, for our friends and family to park when they come over, for our daughter to park when she comes back from college in the fall without us having to pay a $50 fine. We've luckily worked with the police chief very closely, and once he's found out that it is our daughter, he has voided the last couple of tickets. But again, it's very frustrating to have a neighbor just call somebody and say, hey, there's a high school student parking in the alley by my garage, and a police officer comes by and gives us a ticket without trying to find out whose car it is or if they live there or not. So we don't know what to do. There's no parking signs all over on our side of the street in front of the house, so we can't park there. There's no parking signs put up in the alley, but as far as we're aware, and we've been told, they're not even from the city. So
Yeah.
we just need to know where to park.
If I could interject, if you could park in that alley, would that resolve your concerns?
It would resolve a lot of our concerns. We have family that live in Nebraska and Iowa that come to see us, and that is literally the only place for us to park. There's nowhere to park in front of our house, and there's nowhere to park behind our house if we keep getting the ticket.
Right. So I did talk about this with Mike, our police chief, and advised him that I do believe the signs in front of the house are city signs, but it does not appear that the signs in the alley are city signs. So I did address it to him and say that it may be, the police may need to reach out to the individuals to see if we can get history on how those signs went up, but I can't find an ordinance linking anything to those signs. So if that would resolve the concerns, I can certainly follow with Mike again. He's unable to be here. I think he's helping with the light away right now, but I can discuss with them further about trying to make contact with those owners about the signs and having them taken down if they're not lawful, if that would resolve the issue.
It would help our issue, yeah. I don't know about our neighbors, but it would help us.
We can bring it back to the Streets and Alleys Committee if needed, if that doesn't resolve the issues. And before we move on, I guess, too, I don't know if you had anything more to address with the committee or...
I guess my husband and I do, we're up to buying that little plot of land if we have to. We've been taking care of it, mowing it, making sure the garbage is cleared. Somebody threw an old mattress and box spring back there and we disposed of it ourselves. We've been taking care of it because that's the only way to get into our garage. So the city hasn't been mowing it, hasn't been doing anything to it. We've been doing it for them.
How many tickets have you got so far?
We've had at least 3 since we've moved in, and the 3 have been within less than a year.
Okay.
What is the violation on the tickets? Does it say specifically?
What do you mean, say specifically? Like we park
Say,
next
does it
to
say
a.
no parking in Diamond or no parking by no parking
It says
sign or-
that she's parking illegally in a non-parking spot because it's a grass area.
Okay.
We do have an ordinance that says no parking on grass.
But like
It's gotta
we
be on
take
gravel.
care of it, and there's nowhere else to park. So
It's gotta,
like
it's gotta
where would
be, it's
you?
gotta be gravel or pavement.
So
Parking on, I got a ticket for parking in my yard one time.
Yeah.
That's just a city ordinance, the way it's rolled.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
If it's
that's
if it's gravel or pavement, it's fine. There will never be a ticket
But there-
again.
but
you
there's
cannot park on
gravel
grass.
like going into our into our garage, and then like it's barely grass. That's what I'm saying. Like there's barely any grass. It's pretty much weeds that are there.
I was gonna say, it's just
See, that's not the same though. You park in the grass on your yard, but that's the alley diamond.
Yeah,
That belongs to us. We should have it gravel.
yeah.
We
That's
don't
our
have,
fault.
we have never gravelled an alley diamond. Just,
Well,
just
who's
a
gonna
straight.
grab- So how
It's-
can you
it's city
find somebody
property.
for parking on the grass when it's our fault for not taking care of the alley?
What's the ordinance say about taking care of diamonds? Anybody
That's
know
what I
offhand?
mean. So we're
It's
gonna
alley.
have to start either taking care of the diamond.
Yeah.
I mean, where's these people gonna park?
The Diamond's
If
part of
there-
the
if
alley,
there's-
right?
If there's grass growing in the diamond, and you can park legally in
Yeah,
the
you
diamond,
can see it on the
it's
map.
our grass.
What is your address?
We're 836 Charter. So if you see that garage right there on the map, like where the gravel is literally going into the garage, she
Yeah.
parks on the left side of that tree closest to our house. So it's like barely grass.
Ma'am, I have a question.
Yeah.
The vehicle, or has only one certain vehicle been ticketed or a couple ticketed?
Her vehicle gets ticketed, but her friend does park. She's a senior. She's going to be done in 13 days from school. But she parks in the alley, like not in the alley, like right in front of our garage because she's gone by noon and she has even gotten a ticket. So even parking into our garage, like she's going into it, she's getting a
What
ticket.
I'm asking is the registration on that license should specifically
Yeah, it has-
state 836
It does.
Charters.
Yep.
That ticket should never been issued.
Yeah.
The Diamond is so everyone has access to the alley.
Right.
Otherwise, the corner lots, if the properties came all the way back, then the corner lots would not have access to the alley.
Right.
Like the one at Eighth and Charters wouldn't have access to the alley. So that's why the Diamonds exist. But if you're not blocking somebody else's garage, you can block your own.
We had that issue.
Yeah.
I think it was the same block, actually, wasn't it, a few years ago.
So getting back to what Brent's saying, there are signs put up by the residents that have no parking, looks
That-
like?
Yeah.
That's
They
my,
were there when we moved in.
So
that's,
that
that's
would
my
be a problem
understanding,
right
but
there.
we do not have confirmation yet.
So there's no ordinance.
So
It
we're
could
gonna-
it could have been put up before they bought the. It's hard. I'm not going to say who put them up because we don't know yet, but we're going to research that and find out.
But they're not standardized. There's more than one type of sign that says no parking.
They're not city signs.
Yeah. No, as long as you're not blocking someone else's access to their driveway, you should be able to park there. Is what I feel.
How many tickets have been expunged by the mayor? I mean, by the police chief?
Two.
Two.
And then he's lowered one of them down for us, so we paid like $30 altogether to park.
Do we have any rules on parking in Diamonds at all?
I'll review that with Mike.
Yeah.
But most of the time, they're not the same in all diamonds.
I do know, like on the other side of our diamond, there's been a pop-up camper that just sits there the whole time.
You have to ask Demus when he gets on. He knows about parking in the diamonds.
I'll answer that.
Yeah, he's right
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
I'll trade you.
I drove through that alley, and there's a fence.
Step up to the mic, yes.
Yeah, it's right in front of me. I drove through that alley, and there's a fence there, all right? And on that fence, they have some hardware, no parking signs.
Mhm.
So where they're parking, they're just parking up against that fence. It doesn't look like the house where the fence is needs access to that part of the diamond. Now, the other thing you can do, and we've done it before, and we did it for James Rada at 8th and Wright, he leased the diamond from the city for, I think it was 5 years or something like that, Jim? What was
You can only do it for 2 years.
2
and then
years,
renew
right?
it.
So she could lease that diamond and park there. Or she could still park there and not lease it, because how a diamond works is everybody that has access to the diamond is allowed to use it and park there, unless there are no parking signs there from the city. You know, so that's how it
But
is.
you can't obstruct someone else's access to
Yeah,
the
you can't
garage.
obstruct it, but in this case, they're not obstructing anything because of that fence there. And I don't know, does a sign on the street say no parking school days or no parking? Does it say no parking? No parking, okay. So, I mean, I don't see any reason why they couldn't park there, being that I'm the diamond expert.
And I still can't see why they get a ticket for parking on grass when it's our fault for not maintaining the alley.
Yeah.
Sounds like you're gonna have a lot of time to maintain stuff.
Well, I'll have a lot of So it just seems like if you take down all them no parking signs, that'd solve their, if they're not legal, which they're not.
Before we continue the conversation, is there anybody else who has attended the meeting looking to discuss this issue? Okay. Oh, Bob, would you like to?
I'd just like to add one thing. I'm the alderman that got the complaint, and I called the police chief to handle it. So
I think we're more concerned that we have a neighbor calling you.
understood. And you said that the alderman would help. If you would have called me, I would have reached out and tried to help him. That neighbor, whoever he is, that complained to me as his alderman, I followed my procedure, which is to call the chief of police and have him investigate it and do what he needs. I would like to see us lease that, like was brought up by Mr. Demas, and resolve that issue.
So what is lease?
Well, that's something we'll get with you afterwards, if it's even reasonable.
Very little. The amount is very little. It's a procedure.
You just want to make sure that you're not going to have issues with
I
other
know.
neighbors in doing it.
That's the problem. So in the future.
Some other things.
Or I'll give you my card and so.
Still, you can't block the corner.
To clarify the conversation as we have it right now, my understanding is that the action guided to the city staff is to work with the police department to review whether those signs are legally posted, and if they're not, to make contact with who we believe the owners of the signs to be. And if we can't make contact with those owners, we will take the signs down, if we can do so. Is that understood? Is that?
That's understood.
Yes.
So
And then we'll
anybody
go from
wanna
there.
Make that a motion, or are we just gonna say we're gonna do it, or?
So
Do we need a motion? on
No.
that?
I don't think we need a
Really?
motion for something like that.
Alright.
The police chief is already made aware of the issue. He's already investigating the signs.
So is there not a way for, like, if a police officer comes over for him to look up our car and see that it's our address before all of this gets resolved?
I don't work with the police department to be able to answer that confidently, but I can talk to the police chief about that issue.
Does that make sense?
Well, someone else can't block your garage, but someone else could park back there, you know,
Right.
as long as they're not blocking your access to your garage right now. Yeah.
Okay,
And if you got a visitor, like you said, then, you know, that wouldn't show up.
In that case, that is the current direction the police chief is working with, so we'll continue on that path. And hearing no other comments, I think we can move on for now.
okay. That's settled.
No, but
Number 3, any old business? 4, any new business? Any comments from the audience? I get a motion to adjourn.
I have a
Make a
comment.
motion, we adjourn.
I have a comment. This is your last official act, so I'd like to congratulate you. Yeah, you gotta go through the roll call.
We
at
have
the
a meeting to, meeting.
Let's
Really,
look at
one-
the
one-
streets and alleys.
One more comment here. Those watching online, we are going to start city council shortly after this. We just need to get set up for the swearing in. So please give us a couple minutes as we set up for that, and we'll start the city council meeting right after.
You've done a good, fine job, Alderman Bassler, leading the streets and alleys and everything else.
Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?